And good morning. Welcome back to another live stream. I'm Face Motion, and we're jumping in this morning to Occupy Mars. 1 second, let me just see. These things are working as they should. Yeah. That is okay. Yeah, we're here. Hopefully the camera will kick in shortly. Yeah, looks like it is. Fantastic. So we've made quite a lot of progress. In the last video, we finished with this big grinder. I'm just tweaking a couple of things here around the kind of power distribution. So I have, what are these called? ECB? ECU. So I've just added ECU for input power. We've got our battery pack here. We're gonna disconnect this distributor, it's ECB, unplug this and unplug this because I just want to move it. And it's usually better to unplug all of these things before we take it a bit. Otherwise, you can get a bit sparky. The stacking of cables is still a little bit of a tricky beast, and we're going to move this ECB here just on this side, I think. So let's drop a ECU, drop another one just here. Oh, that's the wrong button. Hey BPAT, how you doing? You have a good weekend? Hopefully, like big chunks of the world today, it's a public holiday for you. Okay, so now we have our ECBs, so your input, battery, output. And then we're just going to wire this one up to our crusher. There you go. And then the other side up to perhaps if I slip the cable. And then we can bring this baby up and plug this thing into charge. Where is the charging port? Is around the other side. Of course it is. Not sure if we have enough cable. Yeah, we should have just enough. Otherwise, I have to make some more. Okay. That was a long stretch. I'm looking forward to when we have the garage. I'm awesome, thank you. I had a really good weekend with my daughter. She is out with her mother. Today they're having a picnic with some of their friends. And she was, Grace, my daughter, is like super in good spirits, always happy. So it's always fun spending time with her. Sundays is our kind of kickback day. So I just want to check how much power the crusher actually needs. The weather here is pretty good in Berlin. Hopefully it's the same where you are. Where is the crusher? I can never find this. There we go. There's the big crusher, and it needs 10 power. So let's bring this down. 10.2. And let's put across, I don't know. I'm not sure how much is good for this for charging, but 10 should be good. Okay. And we can drop these ones down to 0. It's 10 again. There you go. So we're outputting 20.4. Let's just make sure we're not over. So what are your plans for today, BPAT? No, we don't want that. Other direction, 20.4, wasn't it? So let's do 21. Okay. So we now have a good positive flow for the battery itself. And then let's just, relatively safe and sorry, let's expand this out with a battery expansion. Just because it's better to do earlier rather than later. That, please. So you're going to kick back and relax, or you're going to play? That is a good question. I do like this game. What are we short of? Electronics 4. But it's early access, and it is very early access. It's playable. I'm playing in the story mode. The first part of the story mode is actually a bit frustrating. You get to find your feet within the established base. You kind of learn how a couple of things operate. Kind of, it's the usual tutorial type thing. Then suddenly something happens, and the base becomes severely damaged, and you end up going into an escape capsule, and then you end up and you have to survive. The game itself is good. I like the Mars simulators. And there's a couple of mechanics that are kind of a bit weird, like how you find blueprints and that kind of thing. So there's a lot of exploration that you need to do. It's not incredibly difficult, but it is quite fun. It is a good challenge. But it's still very early in development. Like, pretty much everything works, as you'd expect. But it feels like there's a lot more that they can do. If it's worth buying, I think it really depends a lot on the price. How much is this? 25 bucks, 25 euros. I think it's a little bit high for really what's in the game at the moment. Like less than 20. I know it sounds like a small amount, but less 20 I think is more value. And then I would kind of say yes. More than 20, I think, while everything works and there's a lot of things that you can build in here, a lot of exploring you can do. I think it's a little bit too high. But yeah, it's really your call. I can put the link into. Can I put the link? Is there a way to share on Steam? No, I don't see an easy way. But if you search for the full title, this is better than Kerbal Space Program 2. I think a lot of the games are overpriced at the moment. I'm pretty strict on this. Charging 50, 70 bucks for games, especially when they have a lot of issues, is not worth it. Harry Potter was a really good game, really, really well done, so very much worth the money, I think. This one, 25, as I said, it's a little bit too high. Like less than 20, and I'd say yes, because it is worth playing. How much does this need? Why is this one not getting power? But I do like it. The big rover makes a huge difference for your exploration. Input, output. I'm not giving it enough power, but I pumped this up to 10. thought this was at 10. There's a couple of glitches around kind of tablets and stuff falling through the scenery, but there's nothing you can't really work around, especially when you reach a certain point. We need some electronics, so let's go up here. There have been a few patches for the game, so the team looks relatively responsive, but it's nowhere near as good as... Oh, this needs 20. Right. Nowhere near as good as Sons of the Forest. The way Sons of the Forest kind of have these intervals, and on the loading screen they say like the next patch is going to be in 15 days or something. I really like that. I think that kind of sets the bar for how I think games should operate. That is 21. 21 is what is being provided, but we need to provide more than that. So let's do 26. Okay, 26, that's 20. Let's bring that down. That is 12%. Whoop, too much. There you go. Okay. But I like it. So, yeah, I like building games. There's no real puzzles in here. There's no enemies apart from the elements. We need some electronics. It's really interesting that you can build these bigger buildings here. I think that's because you can actually load them into this container, or maybe the tipper. The planting is okay. Seed drops are fairly rare. We found potatoes and I think it's beetroot so far. Electronics, where are you there? And we need 4. I think there's a lot they need to do around kind of some of the building mechanics. I think the kind of tech tree, like if we bring up the tech tree here, you earn points by doing certain things. So like in materials, by scrapping buildings and stuff, you earn points for this, and then you can unlock various parts. You do get kind of cock blocked at various things. So you need the 3D printer blueprint before you can actually invest a point into this. And the tablets you can find in buildings that are dotted around on the map. Mining rocks will generate things like mechanics, I think. Electricity, I can't quite remember how you do this, but kind of consuming and using electricity, you get points. We've got a ton of points here, but we're completely cock blocked until we have the blueprints for them. Botany is growing food. The growing mechanic is actually pretty smart. I like how they've done this. Yeah, there's a lot of things in here. I think one of the biggest drawbacks, I think, is the introduction to how certain things work for characters. Could do with some work. The flow, it doesn't feel they don't kind of guide you enough in some places. You get a bit stuck, and it's not really intuitive about what you do next. If we go across to the greenhouse, the greenhouse is a blueprint that you have to unlock first, but you can stick these growing trays and the incubator in the main workshop. I like kind of how this works. We've got some field here, but for instance, this is a good example. These fields, you need soil, and there's no obvious way to kind of get soil. You don't have a shovel or anything. So what you have to do is you have to go into the fertilizer machine and drop in, I don't have any on me at the moment, but drop in silicon, hit recycle, and then suddenly you get you get the soil that you can use, which is a really nice mechanic, but it's like completely counterintuitive. So you kind of have to dig around and poke around the internet a bit. Yeah, I don't really understand, like, I don't understand why Kerbal Space Program built a brand new engine. You know, I do a lot of, I spent 30 years doing software engineering and architecting, big systems. I work for Amazon. I know how these things kind of plug together. And if you're kind of smart from the outset about how you build software, then everything becomes kind of pluggable. And you kind of have these kind of loose interfaces between these kind of smaller modules that you hook together. And if you do that right, then basically, massive upgrades can be done fairly simply. So kind of having to, build a brand new iteration and call it version 2, I think is a bit of a pain in the ass. Yeah, exactly. I love the movie. You did get strong vibes about the movie in this game. But that's another, it's a small issue, but it kind of illustrates that some of the ways that they have to go. So when if I bring up my inventory, it's going to do a save. They've got to tweak the mechanics around how stuff stacks in your inventory. So you pick up potatoes from the greenhouse and you'll get a stack of like 16, and then it will start another stack. And sometimes you get like 2 or 3, and then it will start another stack. Now all of these potatoes can be stacked together, but it will quickly fill up your inventory, and then suddenly you'll find that you're tossing potatoes. You're not picking them up anymore. You're picking them up and you're dropping them straight away. Which is a tiny thing, but it says a lot about the user experience. I'm really into user experience. I think that's one of the most important things you have to focus on, really early, because it keeps the traction, it keeps the user engaged and wanting to play. And when there's lots of kind of little hiccups in that experience, then users are just going to bugger off. And that's something you really want to avoid as much as possible. So these plants are growing. They're doing pretty well so far. They should be ready maybe later today, when I can show you kind of how that works. The mechanics around growing plants is good, and there's a seed machine, so you can take in the potatoes, you put them in the seed machine, and there's a bit of genetics that you can do to make the yield better, which is a nice idea. And then you can convert those raw products into food packs. Okay, so that is done. Power is looking okay. We're only going to be shipping out 21 at the moment because our battery needs to charge. So that's okay. The next thing we want to do is build a oxygen tank, because we need to start supplying some oxygen to our rover. So let's go to blueprints, and we want let's have the upright tank, vertical tank here. Arrow keys to rotate. I'm just going to drop that there. I don't want it too far from my main supply over the other side. I love that movie. I was actually thinking about watching it again yesterday. So we are a little bit short. So let's come over here. This is another area where I want to kind of rationalize things a bit. So we have these wells. Some of the wells have just standalone. Some of them have an oxygen reactor, a Sabato reactor attached. We've got 4 wells here, and we've got 3 pumps. So we're pretty good for oxygen, but we're not that great for water. So I want to kind of rationalize this area. Before we do that, let's see if we have enough pipe. I'm going to connect this to... Actually, this is another example of some work that they need to do. And I'll explain this in a sec. So these are pumps. And the pumps have, when you first deploy them, they have color-coded inputs and outputs. So the blue is for water, the green is for oxygen, and the red is for methane. Now, what's not intuitive is that these are actually arbitrary inputs and outputs. So you can connect like 3 oxygen pipes, you can connect 3 water pipes, and then you can map those resource types to outputs through this interface. So that's a really cool concept, but it's completely counterintuitive. I'm not that up. I think night, like the atmosphere is really thin, so the stars should be pretty visible. But yeah, there's a bit of ambience that needs to be done. I'd like to see more of a, the WoW concept. It's a simplified mechanic. Maybe some kind of, bigger WoW platform that you can upgrade. All of this area, so this kind of colored terrain that you see here, which is a darker brown, is where we have water. Yeah, it's what's the phrase I was thinking of? It's an accessible version of realism. So let's have a look at the upgrade. Where are we? Sabatia reactor, and we're gonna see about plugging that onto this one. Yeah, the orientation is wrong on that. On there. Work. And then out of habit, I also put one of these little oxygen tanks on the outside, just because I think it's going to give me more storage and a better buffer.
Oxygen, 75%. Not enough materials.
What are we short of? Electronics again. Let's have a look on this one. So we need 3 more electronics. So I think if they kind of work how the blueprint stuff and the tech tree kind of works together, and maybe kind of decouple them a bit, so that you can advance through the tech tree. Let me give you an example. Yeah, electricity is probably one of them. I can't really see it here, but there's an example here. So with electricity, you can research all of these things. You need a couple of blueprints to get this kind of, this branch up to this point, and then you're completely cock-blocked from moving on in this branch until you find this one blueprint. So for instance, you can't unlock the science bench, you can't do the customization, you can't do the fast charging, so on and so forth. So you're accruing all of these points, but you can't go any further, and this thing is completely random. There is a way to kind of game it, so you can do some exploration, you can find a tablet. Before you open the tablet, you can do a save point, and then you can open the tablet, see if you get the blueprint you want. If you don't, then you can reload the save and try again, and you can do that. I've done that like 8 times until I got a blueprint that I wanted. And okay, that workaround works, but it's just it's forcing the user to kind of go through a mechanic. That is a good question. I don't know. I have seen something which indicates that there's trees that you can plant outside. Do I see something here? No. Maybe it's not in the tech tree. But I've seen something that kind of indicates that there's trees that you can plant outside. And therefore, it kind of opens the door a bit to terraforming. At the moment, I don't see much of that here. So at the moment, it's purely around the kind of settlement side of stuff. But that would be a pretty cool addition. I think there's a game, I can't remember what it's called. It might be Astroneer, it might be something else, which does allow for terraforming. But I don't know what the current state of it is. We needed some more electronics. So this big crusher comes with a 3D printer. Let's do 5 of those. And that's something else I'd like to see. So you can build your own settlement, and you can salvage, scrap the settlements that you find elsewhere. But I think it would be quite cool if you could take over some of those abandoned settlements. Some of them are just abandoned. The infrastructure looks pretty much there. There's no cables, but the rest of the stuff is there. Some of them are completely destroyed, so you can't really do anything. What was I doing? So I think that would be a nice addition. But then again, with the rover, it's got a bed, it's got a charging point for power. That was the other thing I was going to do. So because we've got plenty of inputs for oxygen, we need some outputs. So what I'm going to do is connect a pipe to actually, I don't think I can connect. Let's try. That's water. That's not what we want. Should be able to connect the oxygen over here. Let's try this. Hopefully I have enough pipe. If you look down onto the toolbar, you can see as you move, the quantity of pipe units is going down. That's the water connector plug. I can't do anything there. So let's connect this one up. We're going to have a problem, I think, in a second. No, 21, 18, 12. There we go. Okay, that's a long pipe. I need to make a bit more water pipe, I think. Yeah. So even though I had 2 stacks of water pipe, one in my quick toolbar and one in my inventory, it was actually combining the two when I was trying to lay the pipe. It's also gas cable. What do I need? We'll be short on silicon pretty soon, but I think 10 should be enough. That should give us 100 units. Into container. There we go. That's given us 50. That's probably not going to be enough for what I want. So we need some more silicon, which is a good excuse to show the rover. So let's open the rover. There's a small ATV that you do get for free just after you crash that is near one of the settlements that you can salvage. It's a nice little vehicle. It's pretty zippy for getting about, but doesn't really have the range that the rover itself has. And you can see it just here. It's a pretty neat little vehicle. It does help a lot early on. This is the one you get for free, which I can't enter because I don't have a circuit board in there, but this is the other one that I have. This one is one that you can build yourself. and goes essentially kind of twice the speed of the other one. Go around the back. This game has two modes. So there's a kind of story campaign mode, and there is I think a free build mode or creative mode. This is a campaign story. I quite like the storage that you can do on this. Let's take these things out because we're not really using our ATV much at the moment. So I like the kind of holographic display and the kind of way that this works. And this is a spare grinder that I created. And let's go back to our rover. Rover has massive storage, which is really cool.
Oxygen source external.
We can charge up our suit battery from here. Text is a little hard to read, but around 60%.
Suit recharged.
Cool, that's done. Let's put some things away. Put our circuit boards down here. I don't know if you can control click. Okay. Let's put some of these things away as well. Just free up a tiny bit of inventory space and have something to eat. Okay. That's charging. Sit in our seat. Press V to switch into third person, and we need to go and hunt for a bit of silicon now. And I've kind of exhausted what is in this area, so we need to go a bit further field. Doesn't feel like we're going that fast, but if you look at the dashboard, we're going at 33. And we should have a bit out this way. And I can show you how the crane works. Let's go to this clump of rocks over here. And we're going to head towards that rock, a big one. A bit closer. Going to be fairly close for how the crane itself works. That's probably pretty good. And then once we're here, you can press tab and the seat swivels around to the right. That's a good idea. I have thought about it. I've started. So to make that sort of thing work, you need a way to to coalesce the people together. So what I've started doing is setting up and configuring Discord to act as the kind of communication point for making that happen. And then once that's set up, basically I can assign people to groups and so on and so forth, and people can sign up if they want. And then I was looking at one of the hosting providers for one of the persistent worlds that you can do and make it kind of a free-for-all. I was thinking about doing that for Sons of the Forest and for Valheim as well. So yeah, that's a good suggestion. And yeah, I'm thinking of how best to do that now. So let's switch across to the drill. Activate the camera. Just because I think it looks cool. But it works better in third person. And then you can move your mouse kind of up and down, and then use the WASD BF keys to kind of orient a little bit more, and then you can use your mouse wheel as well. And then I'm trying to remember how this works. I think it is click. And then in. Yeah, there you go. And then I to be honest, I've not been super successful with how that art works. I think you drill in to expose those bigger pieces like this. Well, I don't want to do that. And then once that's done, so now right click, switch to the grabber. Like this tool changes are pretty cool. And then extend out. You can see this on the ground. You can see a kind of, let me go down a little bit. So I think you can see it better, maybe on this rock. You can see that kind of red circle with the crosshatch in. And then that looks green, so I think we can grab this. I don't have the auto grabber at the moment, so then click again. And then you can pick it up, and then you can kind of bring it in. I don't know if there's any kind of collision there. And then you can kind of bring it to where you think that is, and then let go. And it kind of drops into your thing and kind of spreads out like chocolate sauce or something. So that's pretty interesting. I kind of like how that works. But it does take a little bit of getting used to. Let's now go across to the drill. Yeah, see. And then let's carry on. I can pivot the drill. So there, we're kind of exposing, and you see that kind of reddish rock that is kind of directly ahead. Doesn't look like I can turn the thing a bit. Let's see if I can. There we go. And then extend it out and kind of down. And it looks like it's kind of automatically drilling when it encounters rock. And then you expose those large chunks, and then once you have the large chunks, you can use the grabber. The physics needs a bit of work in this game. So we got those things, and then let's go back in here. Yeah, and it's just kind of more, I think it's easier to kind of organize things like schedules and that sort of stuff with Discord. Okay, let's see if we can grab that big. It's down. Doesn't want to grab this one. Can I grab that one? No, I think I need to drill that out a bit more. Yeah. I don't want to do that. It's the V I want. And there is this welder attachment, but I think you need a container on the back of your rig for that one to work. This is the tipper that we use for kind of rocks. I've not actually played that game. I have a massive list of games that I want to play. What is YM? Okay, that one. See, I feel like I'm missing something with this drill. So you can press tab in this view, which will bring you back to the driver's seat, and then you can control the vehicle a bit more to kind of get closer. and then tab out to go back into kind of the other mode. Let's wait until this thing stops. I feel like a dentist working through some of this. I think maybe switching to the camera view would be a bit smarter for doing some of the fine work on this. So let's come out of this. Let's bring to the grabber. Ancient. I'm pretty sure I'm older than you. I'm 52. I was last month. There is an automatic grab mode, but I think that requires some research. Okay, that didn't work. Let's grab this. I think you have to wait until you see the green rectangle. Okay, that looks a little bit green. Yeah, definitely see something green there. There you go. Okay, so that's pretty cool. It requires a kind of level of coordination that my body doesn't naturally have. See, that looked green there. Oh, that's one click. Yeah, that was fooling me a little bit. Okay, so I see it there. Let me just try the camera view again. Aha. Now I need to remember the controls. So let's try grabbing this piece. Looks like I've got something. Okay. Ah, happy birthday. So yeah, there are degrees of ancient. That's not looking red, so there is a way to pivot the... It's not grabbing anything. Let's try... switching view. Right click. What do I want to do? Camera light. Okay. Let's see if I can grab this. It's open. That's not looking like it's gonna grab. And that's not green, but let's try anyway. No. Yeah, I'd like the auto grabber would be a nice addition, I think. Let's see if we can get this one. Okay, that looks like a green circle. A green cross. Can we grab this piece? Yes. Okay. And then to our trailer and release. Okay. And then this is a nice thing that I've just noticed. I didn't have enough rock in here before, but if you look here for the storage space, you see the kind of blue water line with how full it is. That's pretty neat. So let's go back to the drill, go outside. I think the issue here is that this rock is not actually a resource. There you go. Yeah.
Sleep deprivation warning. Alert.
And there we go. So that's a kind of tiny rock that you're seeing there. I think we can just go outside and pick that up. Press tab. So we can drive the vehicle a bit closer. Hello? Okay. It looks like it's about as close as we can get. Are we able to drill in here? No. Let's see. I feel like I'm not close enough to this. Let's bring this in. What? And then we need to go more to the right. Kind of seeing sparks there, which is probably not something we want to see. That's not going to be enough. That looks like a rock we can pick up. So the... Well, you know, we are the gaming generation. We invented the games. You know, we were playing them from the moment you have to kind of type everything into the computer to get things started. So, yeah. Thankfully, I am far from being a grandparent. Grace, my daughter, is 4.
Dehydration detected.
Okay. Although she has a strange fascination at the moment with babies, so she is constantly pretending to be pregnant with her toys, which is a bit disconcerting. Let's get up from the chair. Dehydration, so we need to swap out our water tank. And this is another nice thing about the rover. So when you build the rover, you get a spare O2 and water tank, which is pretty neat. You can also unequip your helmet inside the rover because it has its own oxygen supply. And we can get some sleep. Again, this is another little mechanic that I'm not super fond of, but you know, once you're exhausted, your health degrades pretty quickly. You know, easily you can go from full health to actually dead from exhaustion in 2 minutes. And you know, I spent pretty much my entire life writing code. And I've done 3 days straight without sleeping, just because I'm so excited about what I'm doing. So yeah, I don't like that. But then maybe that's just me. Okay, so let's bring this in, move around a touch, see if there's anything else that we can grab. Is that a resource? I think it is. So we have the green cross. Grab that piece. There we are. Nice. And then bring it in a touch. Cool. Now I think we're a little bit far from where we need to be. So press tab, go forward until we're kind of close to where we want. Space allows us to stop. Press tab again to go back into the control mode for the grabber. And I want to see if we're able to grab this piece. Now, I'm not seeing a kind of green crosshair. And we're not able to grab it from the rock. Cool. I wanted to see if you could actually grab those pieces from the rock or if you had to drill around it first. Obviously, you have to drill around. So we can grab and switch to the draw piece now. Yeah, exactly. I used to work for one of my very earliest jobs was working for a company called Ticketmaster in the UK. And yeah, we had some of our night operators who were literally, they'd partied for an entire week and come in directly to work afterwards. They smell like crap, but yeah. Okay, we need to get a bit closer. So let's just reorient a bit and see if we can get in there. There we go. Should be good. Although nowadays, like as I said, Grace is 4, and spending an entire day with Grace and a handful of her friends, and I must admit, I do struggle a touch. Okay, let's grab these pieces. So open up, down, I'm going to get a little bit further in. Okay, the green circle doesn't go green until after you grab the rock, so it's a visual indicator for you. Like, I'm not good at this kind of coordinated stuff, as you can tell. But I am enjoying it, bizarrely enough. I feel like I'm being stuck on something. Something is preventing me from moving. Is there a rock under my wheels? Yeah, maybe it's that one. Okay. There we go. So I actually like this. I think this is pretty cool. Apologies if I talk too much about my daughter, but yeah, she's a massive, a massive part of my life. I'm a single parent, and she lives with me. So yeah, it's pretty much a massive part of my days. But it is great fun. So where am I now? Okay. Okay. I'm hoping we actually have some silicon. I should get out a second and do a bit of scanning. I can show you how the scanner works. There we go. Switch to the interior camera. We're about just over half full, I think, which is pretty cool. And one thing I've learned, so when you're in your base, if you try to go out without having your helmet on, it won't let you open the airlocks. But in the rover, it will let you go out. I've killed myself before opening the airlock without a helmet on.
Suit pressurized. Helmet sealed.
Cool. Have fun. Get some fresh air. I will try not to die on Mars. Thanks, BPAT. Okay, so we're going to do some scanning. So for this, we have our detector, a spectral detector. It's only level 2 at the moment. It goes up to level 3. Normally, you can use this for finding water. So it will tell you the distance if you look in the bottom of this scanner. It tells you what the capacity is, and kind of should read what the thing is on the right. The other use of this is basically when you approach a rock, it will analyze and tell you what is in that rock, which is really, really good. This little rock has aluminium, This big one has aluminium. Lots of aluminium here. Iron. Go over the other side. Aluminium. Not looking good. I want to make sure we're getting some silicon. Let's take a look. I think we've done that one. There's iron. It's almost definitely iron. Okay, not having much luck on the silicon at the moment. I do think that you get the, if you're using the rover, I think you kind of get all of the components here. So this one has calcium, but has a subcomponent of silicon, iron, and aluminium. So this is one that we do want. Bring up the map. This is where we are, I guess. Let's track this one with the white. And then head back to our rover. That's not being tracked. Okay. Let's track it with the yellow. There's the white marker. Track yellow. Okay, that should be good. Maybe it was there and I just didn't see it. Okay, so back to our rover. Shut that door. Take off our helmet so we conserve the O2 that we have on our suit. And we have plenty, as you can see here, of O2 in the vehicle. Okay. And we want to head over in that direction. Can we squeeze through this one? Let's have a look. Yeah. And we'll probably want to go around the other side. Just because there's a bit more space for this chunky little vehicle. I'm going to get nice and close. Closer than this. I should probably have locked the arm into transport mode. Okay, that should be good. So first we will need to drill. So for that I go to the interior view, switch across. Okay. We'll start at the top. Already seeing some ore. We want to avoid the there was a way to make the arm pivot. I can't. Is that control? and expose these pieces that we can then just pick up. I want to be careful that I'm not drilling through. So we've got some of them there. Look at me like a noob, tilting my head to see around the corner. We can switch to the camera. Okay. Which will probably give us a bit of a better view. What was the way to... control? There was a way to pivot the for arrow keys? No. There was a way to angle the drill itself, but I'm not seeing it at the moment. Okay. Never mind. So let's go to the grabber. Let's grab what we have so far. Open.
External pressure dropping.
Not sure how precise you need to be with dropping in here. It looks like it should be. Oh, that was the wrong button. There you go. You can see it turn to a kind of green circle from the red when you've got it properly. Are we able to get that one out, or no? I don't think so. So let's bring this in and then go back into driving seat. Get a little bit closer to this. Let's be careful about not going too fast. How are we doing? We've got a little bit of space left, which is good. So this is, it's fairly easy to do. A little bit kind of finicky, I feel. But it works. I don't know if there's a way to adjust the angle more.
External pressure dropping.
I feel here is the camera would be better. Okay. Okay, and you can see the kind of little red reticle. So this allows you to be a little bit more precise. Don't want to drill into that piece. There we go. Freeing up those pieces. That's probably a piece that we can grab. That's a piece we can grab. Okay, those are all grabbable pieces. Can we drill into this? No, too far. Okay, so right click and then switch across to the grabber. And then let's use the external camera. Oh, what's going on here? That's better. There we go. Okay.
External pressure dropping.
Not really sure what happens if you overfill. This looks like it is pretty full, actually. So let's head back. So let's put it into transport mode. And then if I press V, you can see what happens. It takes off the attachment and then kind of parks the crane, which is pretty neat. The crane light is still on. It doesn't turn off the light for you. Okay, we're back in the driver's seat. And let's head back to base. Maneuver around these rocks. You can get stuck on the rocks. Like, I think we may be now. There you go.
External pressure dropping.
And our base is to the left. Got a nice big hole. I've put the green marker on the base, so we can always find our way back. The yellow marker I use for kind of more temporary waypoints, and then the red one is usually a place that I want to salvage, old bases that I've yet to explore, things that need to be taken down. This one is pretty south. We did some exploring the other day down there. There's a lot of places to go and explore. I want to make sure we avoid that that little hole, because that's gonna really mess up our day. Okay. And the entrance to our crusher is actually on the other side. So we're going to go around our base. I will reorganize things a bit later when I've unlocked a few more things. Go around here. Now this is this mechanic is actually pretty neat. It's pretty well thought out. Let's make sure we're not going too fast. We're actually going to stop. Go to our interior camera. Drive from the inside. Again, keep the speed relatively low. Keep on going, and then if you watch the dashboard at the bottom, it actually tells you when to stop, which is really, I like that. I like that very much. So let's unload this, switch into third person, and you can see what happens. It tips up the tipper, pours all of the resources in there, I like how it kind of tumbles out. And that's now empty. And let's close, step out of our seat, make sure we have our helmet on. We do need to top up our water.
Suit pressurized. Helmet sealed.
And out we go. And let's take a look. Back in first person. Let's see how we're doing. So to see this, basically, we can go into inventory. And look at that. Look, we have a bucket ton of stuff. Just check down the bottom. 999 silicon. Same for aluminium. Huge amount of iron, calcium. Like that's really nice. In fact, we have that silicon there. Look at this. That was a really good haul. We have a ton of stuff on us, which is good. Before I do anything else, I want to make sure I have water. But if I do that inside. There are a few things that aren't awesome about the rover. There's no water spout, which is a little bit frustrating. So it means that if you're doing long distance exploration, you're going to need to build yourself a well or carry enough water bottles on you. Here we can actually refill the tap. But this will only refill the equipped water bottle. We have to do this twice. But this fills really fast. I think it's the fastest we have. Let's check our oxygen. Okay, let's do the same for this. And for oxygen, you can go to the CO2 scrubber. Fill up the bottle. And then remember to pick up your bottle. And then left click. I have lost a water bottle before by right clicking and the bottle disappearing into the well. So that is that's done. It's 9:08, so we may as well take off our helmet, and we'll check our plants first.
Oxygen source external. External pressure dropping.
And I prefer first person. Let's have a look. These are done. Nice. Okay, so we got spuds that we can pick up. Let's just check the other side. Yeah. Those are fully grown as well. So left click to pick up. Do one field first.
75%.
And then check out inventory, because again, like it has this its stacking is pretty crappy, especially that you have to apply every time. What is that? 5.56 and 4.72. You know, the stats are the same on them. So I don't really understand what the issue is here. I think it's probably just a glitch. Probably low on fertilizer, which is why the yield is only 3 potatoes. You can get 4. That's the maximum I've seen so far. Back to our inventory. Let's work on the stacking again. Just because I don't want to go chasing spuds all across the terrain. If you do drop them, it can also drop outside of the building, which is bizarre. Not really what you want to see from a sealed habitat. Okay. Let's deal with this. Get them stacked up. They stack up to 99. Okay, so we need some seeds. Let's go and do this part now. To use seeds, it's pretty straightforward. Pick the item that you want to turn into seeds. I usually have a full stack that I split into 2. Like this. You see the bonus here. Genetics is playing a role, so the speed bonus that we're putting in is 5.56 and seed bonus is 4.72. And then when we do combine these, it's going up to a speed bonus of 8. So that's a pretty nice improvement, and a seed bonus of 9%. Let's take that one out. Open the drawer. Grab our seeds. And there you go. Now we have a seed container. It's a little bit sad that it doesn't tell you what the seed stats are on this panel. It's something I think I should fix. I'm going to put a food in our tummy. Getting a little bit low on the food that we've made. So now we're going to, well, after this we'll go across and make some food. I'm going to split this into probably 25. There we go. And then we're going to take 1 stack of this and make fertilizer out of it. That gives us 70 fertilizer, which is pretty good. When you finish dealing with the fields, make sure you go back and reset the values to 0, either by using the toggles or by clicking onto the demand figures. Looking pretty good when it comes to electricity, water, soil, as well as fertilizer. Although a bit more fertilizer would be nice. Just make sure these values are 0. Yeah. And we'll do the same over here.
External pressure dropping.
Okay, so before we do anything else, let's go and make a bit of food. Let's go to the food processor. And here you see you have 4 slots. So let's pick an even number. Split. And then split both of these again. So we have 4 stacks. If you add one of the stacks, you see the nutritional value that you get. Add the second stack, you can see that changes. And then if we add 4 stacks, we get a reasonable amount. Mixing and matching food will give you better overall nutrition. We had a little accident where we lost our, I think it's a beetroot plantings that we had. So we need to get some more seeds before we're able to grow those. There are, I think there's a good half dozen, ish, I don't know the actual number, of different crops that you can grow. So that's good. Let's hit process. Let's bring these back. May as well stack these up. We're going to throw them into the fertilizer in a second. And then let's not forget to grab our food. Okay. And then there's one final thing that we want to do before we go to sleep, and that is plant the next batch. So for this, we'll need our seed tool. We don't need the tray. go across to our incubators. We're going to open them all up.
External pressure.
And then let's equip our seed tool and plant a few more. Okay, so we have 29 seeds. You can see on the right-hand side. If you have multiple cartridges in your inventory, you can use the mouse wheel to select between them. And it works for same as well as dissimilar, different
External pressure drop.
crops. And then just point the little dot to the seed tray and then left click. Oh, that was a miss. 9 seeds left. We do need to spend a bit of time focusing on our planting. Make sure we have enough seeds. But we will do a bit more exploration probably tomorrow. In tomorrow game day. And probably head south. Going to top up our water.
Water refilled.
And then just double check our inventory. Looking okay. And I don't think we have pooped today. So let's do that. Flush. And then this is a waste tank. Put it on our inventory and close the door. And that's going to be ready for the next day. And then in the morning, we'll drop that off into the composter. Oh, it's so late already. Let's sleep through until 9. Quite like the transition animation. Save looks to be in need of a bit of optimization. Our plants are withering because I forgot to set the dials over here.
External pressure.
It's a little bit frustrating. Just click on those quickly. There you go. That should be good. Deal with the waste tank. Which added another 5. Okay, so we're good. Let's drop off our planting stuff. Like, I have no idea what we need to do with those things. The spare seed canisters. Take that out. Put that back so we're ready. Sometimes they stack, sometimes they don't. Oh, we have a spare spud. Okay.
External pressure dropping.
Did the one we was using, did that disappear? Huh. Yes, it did. That's a little bit weird. Is that a fix? Okay, so we're full of water. We've got enough O2. We need to build some cables, but then I think we can bugger off and do some exploring. Toss on our helmet.
Helmet sealed. pressure.
So that was a really nice haul. I'm pretty happy with how that went. So we wanted to build cables. Cables first. 10. And then water and gas. And I think we want to do actually 20 of those. You can drag or you can right click. Okay, that's looking pretty good. This baby is empty. Close this off and just check what the oxygen is pretty low. So I think we should top up oxygen before we head off.
Oxygen source external.
Let's jump in here. And then this time around, what I'm going to do is come in from the other direction. Let's come around here. Let's go by turn. Go through this one, I think. In here. Not too fast.
Warning. Weather alert. Dust devils detected.
Oh, dust devils. That means our visibility in the rover is going to become tricky, as well as the solar panels that we have. And I didn't see windscreen wipers on this thing. Clamps, lights. Yeah. It's okay. We need to charge this rover up anyway with O2. And now we've turned this around, we need much shorter cables to make that work. Go and pick up this baby. And I push and held on there because that allows us to pick the cable up. Because that cable is pretty long. There we are. Okay, I'm hoping that won't take too long to do. And kind of while we're waiting, we might as well go out and do something. So we're going to do a bit of drilling. What is this one? Aluminium. I've already scanned this one, so we could actually just break them into smaller chunks and then pick it up with the rover, but we're here. So I do that. There's a rock we can pick up. What was that one? Iron. Okay. This is day 66 on Mars. Oh, that gave us nothing. A big fat 0. Grab this. Let's go and do these rocks because this one impacts our rover. We have to drive around it at the moment. So we can do this. We can clear the field a little bit. make it a little bit easier to drive. You see they're ready to load. This is basically means it's the right size piece that we can just kind of drop it in our rover, which is pretty neat. I'm wondering if you actually get slightly more resources that way around. Okay, and let's just do the same here. We can see the tire marks. Not really sure how this unknown ore, and it is also ready to load. Okay, so we do have dust devils nearby, potentially also a tornado. So we're not going to wander too far from our base. It does get incredibly dusty, and it will literally coat everything around. So not just your solar panels. It'll cover your rover. It'd be difficult to see from the inside. It'll cover your buildings. I wonder how this is doing. You can clean off 82%. You can clean off the dust with there's an air blower and CO2 canisters. And if you leave it, I think there's about two days in game. It will also take itself off after a bit. There is a self-cleaning upgrade for solar panels, which we don't have yet. I believe it's still work in progress. What I am going to do is just check this. Yeah, that's looking good. I need to check my other batteries. That's an ECB. The battery's just down here. I want to make sure we have enough charge because the dust storm essentially stops power generation. So you can only rely upon your batteries. I think we're using about 120, so that it's going to have, this one will have 10 hours of power in there. And we actually have another battery on this side. I've not checked this one in a while, so I just want to see what this is doing. Yeah. This one could, oh, I can't upgrade this one. I think it's due to the terrain. The gap is too much. Okay, so now we have possibly a tornado in the next 3 hours. Wunderbar. What are we doing? How are we doing for power? I think we're okay. Okay, looking pretty good at the moment. Just gonna pop indoors. And see how we're doing on this front. Yeah, we've got plenty of water. 3,000 liters stored, consuming 2.9 with 18 per hour. In. And then power-wise, at night time we're using 128 and we're providing 186. That's pretty good. I am going to grab these potatoes. Got a bit of resources on us. I wanted to check over here as well and look at inventory. Got quite a lot in here. Check our silicon. Yeah. So I'm going to take that stack that we have in that printer and dump it into our composter. We do have 105. Let's make some more. There you go. There's some soil is only used for this thing, I think. Here's the soil. And I don't see, I think there's only fertilizer on this one. Yeah. So it's only used for these kind of field units. I believe the plants grow quicker. Make sure that we have enough being supplied. Yeah. Let's check on the status. It's going to have a ways to go. I think, yeah, 13%. And you put the plants in here for stage 1 growth, which goes up to about 50%, and then you put them in the other thing for stage 2. We're also going to grab these potatoes and recycle those. You get a pretty decent amount of fertilizer from organic stuff. Okay, let's pop outside. Possible tornado, so let's take a look, see if we can see something. I've not been in the rover during a tornado, but I have during a dust storm. It's looking okay. Let's pop up here. And I want to check what resources are needed to build a CO2 tank. We do have some silicon. Build 3 more. Okay. Look around. Don't see a tornado yet.
Warning. Weather alert. Dust devils detected.
In the next hour. Last time I think it came from that direction and then swept across here. See some discoloration in the sky, but I have no idea if that's like an indicator. We could head off, and we should be, I think we should be okay in a rover. But I want to make sure that we are not losing out on power generation, because I really can't afford at the moment to lose another batch of crops. So we will go exploring once the tornado has passed. There are lightning storms as well. And I don't know if this is a glitch. Actually, you can see this now. If you look in the bottom right-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner, you see exterior O2. That is full, and yet we are outside. And I've taken off my helmet in this situation, and yeah, I could breathe. I didn't die. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. I don't know if that's just a glitch or, yeah, part of the terraforming. Yeah, technically, it means that we can terraform and make this a breathable atmosphere, because the mechanics are in the game where, yeah, that could work. I don't know how, whether it would be like a cell-based system. So some parts of the terrain could be breathable. Aha, tornado closing in from which direction? Not seeing you at the moment. Where are you? Over there? Is that where you're coming from? Oh, there you go. That came from nowhere. So let's don't want to be outside during a tornado. We are not Dorothy. So let's head indoors, and then kind of while we're waiting for this thing to pass, let's grab this a little bit more, just to make the next part a little bit easier. keep my repair kit down here in the bottom corner. Move the CO2 across. We've only got one canister that has CO2. And let's go and fill up these canisters. This mechanic is a little bit futsy. So you have to fill up the canister, escape to come out, pick up the canister, left click to put it in your inventory, and then go and do the next one. Which, while technically accurate, is yeah. It feels kind of half-assed because it's taking the empty canister out of your inventory already. So why can't it just go back in? There is a damage mechanic in the game, so things do get damaged by things like tornadoes and that sort of stuff. But we will hop around in a minute and just double check that, you know, we're not leaking atmosphere. We probably need a couple more, but it will tell us when we don't have anything to fill up. We do have something like 12-ish panels, plus the panels that we need to clean on the wells. They have their own solar panels. They can work standalone up until the point that you add no to reactor. On there, let's have a look. Not seeing anything outside. Bring up our repair tool. And then basically with the repair tool equipped, you can wander around and you see that circle in the middle. When things are damaged, you'll see that I'm seeing red here, flashing red light, which basically means we have an O2, we've got a breach somewhere. Where is the breach? I did see it just now. There you go. This one here needs repairing. So the mechanic is pretty good. I like the way that it works. It is it's also a little bit glitchy. So like the lights in this room, I'm pretty sure there were lights in this room. They don't come on anymore. And that was after being damaged. This workshop is looking okay. That's fine. It's a connector. This is working okay. Check this workshop. Yeah, that is looking okay. Check this iris. Okay, let's go and check the greenhouse. It would be nice if there was a kind of schematic overview within your base, like a digital readout, showing the buildings. This one looks like it needs some repairs. Is that actually repairing? Yeah. So the gap is closing. Although that looked like it was on the incubators themselves, so that's a little bit confusing. Greenhouse, field looks fine. Check these airlocks. They're looking fine. I've not noticed if the exterior buildings take any damage. I have looked around, but I've not noticed it. So it's going to be dark outside. But we do want to go around and make sure that our yeah. What's going on here? Why is that circle not closed? That was a little bit weird. Does that mean the whatever this tool is? Can't see much. Okay, so if we now approach our solar panels, you can see that circle is pretty much full. That basically means that indicates how much dust is on there. And then you basically just point this tool towards the solar panel, and it will blow off the dust. You don't have to point at the top of the panels themselves. Did that complete? There's a tiny bit left. And this affects the efficiency of the cells. So they go down to about 1 kilowatt when they're fully covered in dust, and they produce 36 kilowatts when they are fully operational. I prefer to do these as quickly as possible. This part is pretty neat. So it will go through the CO2 canisters, and it will automatically switch to the next canister once it's empty. These front two panels are for the rover. We have a pretty decent battery on there, so it should be fine. And we have enough battery stored for about 15 hours, I think, at the moment. Okay. I think that is the ones for this side done. Yeah. So let's head across to the wells. These panels do get caked also. Although I do also supply power from a battery, because I want these running through the night. This way we're kind of tip-top with the water. I've had problems before, especially before I figured out how the wells can combine multiple inputs with water supply, and you know, I lost a lot of crops. Let's get these done. These are almost done. We should be about finished after this one. Yeah. And then let's head across to the other side. I think we've got 4 panels here. Although we have 160, I think that's we're not going to have quite enough CO2. Again, there is a self-cleaning mechanic that I think they're working on. But I don't think it's operational yet. And we haven't found the blueprint for it, so. But that would be pretty sweet. Once again, it's pretty late. Only got 20 here. That's not going to be enough. Looks like it's about 50, around half a tank, more or less, to clean one panel. And we have dehydration, well, not quite dehydration yet, but we will do soon. And grab a bit of water. The water in Mallorca don't taste like what it water. Okay, let's make sure we do poop. Gotta get the fertilizer for the crops. Matt Damon has a lot to answer for. grab this tank. And then let's head across to so let's unequip this. Use the lowest nutritional value first. Just my preference. I'd rather have, in case of emergency, I'd rather have the the really good stuff.
Oxygen source external.
And make sure our light is off. Yeah. And then sleep through until gonna be a lazy bum. Sleep through until 5 hours sleep. The obligatory save.
Pressure.
You need to charge our
External pressure.
battery. Although I don't think you die if it's out. Check our crops. Oh, we're at 50%. So we don't have our very on us. And I don't think you can build storage here. I think I had a try and it didn't work. So first things first, let's refill these tanks. Again, futsy mechanic. In the starting part of campaign or story mode, there's a part where you have to twiddle the levers on this thing to manage the temperature. And I always felt weird that you had to do it there, but you've never had to do it since. So I don't know if there's some kind of mechanic that they're looking to build, where damage means you have to fiddle about and that sort of stuff a bit more. There is a circuit board mechanic where you can find damaged circuit boards and then you have to repair them on the workbench. But there's actually a gimmick you can use to not need to do that. It's an interesting idea, fixing circuit boards, but I think it's a little bit contrived. But what you can do is you can just use a damaged circuit board to construct something, and then and then just take it out, and it's fully repaired. So let's drop off this stuff. CO2, O2 there. Get our, what is that, air compressor? This storage is it works, but this is currently a fridge. They don't really have any other storage unit that you can use at the moment. Okay, so we have O2, H2O. Soup battery is low, but it's fine. We can fix that in a second. Apart from that one panel, I think these things are clean. Visually, you can see the difference. Go and check over here. On the wells, all of those panels are clean. And these ones look good as well. Yeah. Let's just check how this battery's doing. That's fine. Okay. Our rover is not looking too shabby either. It does look a little bit dusty.
Oxygen source external.
Let's charge our battery. This power socket inside here is like amazing. Currently, I've not had one indoors, although I think there's one that you can build later. But being able to charge is pretty amazing. You can also use this to power a well or something else, which is pretty sweet. Surprised that charging is still not at 100%. So let's take a look outside. Yeah, we do have power. I'm on. I just had a sudden dash of anxiety. I think we need another solar panel. Let's take a look. Blueprints, electricity. Yeah. Might be short of electronics.
Not enough materials.
Yeah, we need 7 more. Well, luckily, the big crusher has a 3D printer. And we should have all of the materials that we need. Let's do 10. Okay. And then wire it up to the other inputs. Here. Okay. And let's just make sure that for some reason 100% is not going through. Let's do that. Okay, so now we have 108 kilowatts going through to the battery. And we have 26 coming out. I'm going to make that 40. We can't yet. Until the out. We should be able to do that. Hang on. Okay, that's 40. Going through to this. This thing needs, I think it only needs 20. And I want this one to be maybe 25. Let's make it 40. Okay. So we have, that's 40% of the power. We could probably make it a bit more. I think the crusher needs 20. That should be enough. Double check the crusher. There's 2 ways to figure out. You can look at the blueprint and it'll tell you at the bottom of the panel, or you can just approach this panel. You don't need to click on it. If it doesn't have enough power, then this screen will have an error message. Okay. So we should have enough juice going out now into the rover. One of the ways you can verify that things are wired up as they should be is that this socket here, socket 2 on the outputs, has nothing connected, so therefore the icon will look like this. When you have a building or a vehicle connected, you'll see the icon within the space, which is pretty good. This thing was at 88%. We've added a bit more power to it. Now it's at 90. One thing we do need to do is build another. I think we can build another power pack, actually. Let's take a look at that. We can't build the. I don't think we can build the O2 yet. But let's take a look. And yeah, the decorations I've not really looked at. I've unlocked them with a point, but you know, that's it. River power extension. I think we can build a couple of these. Let's just do 2 for now. And then while that's printing, what else can we see here? Plates, monitors, this stuff. I guess that's not unlocked yet. This is almost done.
Oxygen, 75%.
Okay. Let's throw this into our inventory. And then put it in a place where we can hold it. I think you can have 4 battery packs in here. We're about to find out. Yes. Nice. Cool. We can do the same with the oxygen, but I don't think we can build the tanks yet. So we can actually print another one of these out. That's pretty neat. I like this. Come on. There we go. Let's go and build one more. And I may try with my other oxygen tank at the moment, just to see if I can put that in there. Rover power extension. And we can build CO2 bottles, but we can't build oxygen bottles or water bottles yet. There is a jetpack that you can build, which could be either awesome or a recipe for disaster. Universal wall panel. I would like to build this, but we cannot yet, sadly. Nice. Close it off. And let's see what that does for us. We've basically gone from, it's gone down to 82. Nice. And so the other thing I was going to try is an O2 tank. Can I plug my normal O2 into this? I do have a spare tank, I think. Yeah. Or is it a... Like, I think that just picked it up. Hello? Okay. That was a little bit weird. What's going on? Inventory is not is now not working. Tab is now not working. Left click, right click. What's going on there? Did I just balk the game? I think you can do it from this side. It's the door.
Oxygen source external.
No, that just lets me use. I thought there was a way to open this from this side. There's an oxygen bottle. Okay, that switch to that. And now it looks like I'm holding an oxygen bottle. Yes. Okay. My inventory is now working. Let's put that one in here. Oh, it's the Rover oxygen bottle is something different. For a different name. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. Sadly, you can't choose where it goes. Okay. Let's close this off.
Oxygen source external.
Okay, so this baby is charging up. We have 4 power packs now in our rover. And that's probably where I'm going to call it a day here at the moment. Although I'll probably be back a bit later. I need to grab a bite to eat, and then we will jump into Lost Ark and work through our dailies and the rest of that storyline that we were working on before. So thank you for watching. It was fun. Thanks for the chat and the follows and the likes. Please do remember to like and follow, and if you're able to, please subscribe to support the channel. I hope you had fun. I did. Have an awesome holiday if today's a bank holiday for you, and if it's a working day, bugger. I know your pain. Take care. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.